My stepsister told my fiancé I had a secret child. So I let her find out her own wasn't her husband's and I had the DNA test to prove it. If you're just tuning in, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. And please show us some love with a like. And comment below to let us know where you're tuning in from. The champagne flute trembled in her hand as she watched her world crumble through the living room window. Outside, her fiancé Austin was shoving his suitcases into his BMW, his jaw clenched with the kind of rage that made grown men dangerous. The engagement ring, a 2-carat princess cut that had cost him 3 months' salary, sat abandoned on the coffee table like a discarded promise. Olivia Williams had built her life on careful foundations. At 28, she was a successful marketing executive with a pristine reputation, a beautiful home, and until 3 hours ago, a wedding planned for next spring. Now, thanks to one venomous phone call from her stepsister, everything lay in ruins. The front door slammed with enough force to rattle the picture frames on the mantel. Austin was gone, and with him the future she'd meticulously planned. Her hands shook as she reached for her phone, scrolling to the last message from Bianca. I thought he deserved to know the truth about little Jaden. Family shouldn't keep secrets, sis. The audacity burned through Olivia's chest like acid. Bianca had always been jealous of Olivia's success, her relationship, her ability to rise above their chaotic childhood. But this was war. Olivia's fingers tightened around her phone as a dangerous smile curved her lips. Bianca wanted to play games about secret children? How ironic, considering what Olivia had discovered 3 months ago during a routine visit to her gynecologist. The same gynecologist who happened to treat her entire family. Dr. Hodge had made an innocent comment about family genetics, mentioning how Bianca's recent pregnancy concerns had reminded her of Olivia's own reproductive health journey. But something in that casual conversation had planted a seed of suspicion that had grown into certainty. Now, sitting in the wreckage of her own life, Olivia realized she held the nuclear option. The question wasn't whether she'd use it. It was how devastating she wanted the fallout to be. The paternity test results lay hidden in Olivia's safe like a loaded weapon waiting for the perfect moment to fire. 3 months of sitting on this information had felt like an eternity, but now she understood why fate had delivered this ammunition precisely when she needed it most. The manila envelope contained enough explosive truth to obliterate Bianca's perfect facade. Olivia poured herself another glass of wine, her mind racing through the implications. Bianca's husband Derek believed wholeheartedly that 4-year-old Isaiah was his biological son. The man had worked double shifts for years, sacrificing his own dreams to provide for a family that wasn't even genetically his. Meanwhile, Bianca played the devoted wife, all while harboring the secret that would destroy everything Derek held dear. The irony was exquisite. Bianca had weaponized Olivia's past, a brief relationship that had ended before she even knew about the pregnancy, before she'd made the difficult decision that still haunted her dreams. But Bianca's secret was ongoing, a living lie that walked and talked and called another man daddy. Olivia's phone buzzed with a text from her best friend Emily. Girl, I just heard about Austin. Are you okay? What happened? Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. How could she explain that her stepsister had detonated a bomb in her life over something that was none of her damn business? That Bianca had twisted a painful chapter from Olivia's past into a weapon designed to destroy her happiness? Family drama, she typed back. I'll call you tomorrow. But tomorrow would be too late for subtle responses. By tomorrow, Olivia planned to have already lit the fuse that would incinerate Bianca's world just as thoroughly as hers had been destroyed. The only question remaining was whether she'd have the courage to watch it all burn, knowing she could never take back what she was about to unleash. The Williams family dinner had always been a monthly tradition, a forced gathering where old wounds masqueraded as conversation and passive aggression was served alongside the mac and cheese. Tonight's dinner at their mother's house would be different, though. Tonight, Olivia carried more than just a bottle of wine and fake smiles. Bianca was already there when Olivia arrived, her perfectly curled hair framing a face that radiated fake innocence. She was helping their mother, Sharon, set the table while Isaiah played with toy cars in the corner, blissfully unaware that his entire existence was built on deception. Oh, Olivia. Bianca's voice dripped with false concern. I heard about you and Austin. I'm so sorry things didn't work out. But honestly, secrets have a way of destroying relationships. It's better he found out now rather than after the wedding. The casual cruelty in her tone made Olivia's blood pressure spike. Bianca was actually gloating, enjoying the destruction she'd caused like a child who'd successfully knocked down someone else's sandcastle. Derek looked uncomfortable, shifting in his chair as he avoided eye contact. He was a good man, too good for Bianca, and Olivia could see the guilt eating at him. He'd probably told Bianca not to interfere, but he'd married a woman who thrived on chaos and drama. You know what they say about secrets, Olivia replied, her voice steady despite the rage building in her chest. They always come out eventually. Always. The emphasis on the last word made Bianca's smile falter slightly, but she recovered quickly, continuing to arrange the silverware with practiced precision. Sharon emerged from the kitchen carrying a steaming casserole dish, oblivious to the tension crackling between her daughters. Now that everyone's here, let's eat. Bianca was just telling me about Isaiah's new preschool teacher. Apparently, she commented on how much he looks like his daddy. Olivia nearly choked on her wine. The irony was so thick she could taste it. The conversation flowed around the dinner table like poison disguised as small talk. Olivia watched Bianca play the perfect wife and mother, cutting Isaiah's food into small pieces while chatting about parent-teacher conferences and soccer practice. The performance was Oscar-worthy if you didn't know the truth lurking beneath the surface. Derek beamed with pride whenever Isaiah spoke, his dark eyes lighting up with the pure love of a man who believed this child shared his DNA. The resemblance everyone always commented on was purely coincidental, a cruel joke played by genetics that had allowed Bianca's deception to flourish unchallenged. Austin seemed like such a nice young man, Sharon said, passing the green beans around the table. What exactly happened between you two? Bianca answered before Olivia could speak. Sometimes people just aren't compatible when all their cards are on the table. Right, Olivia? The dig was subtle but unmistakable. Olivia's fork clinked against her plate as she set it down carefully, buying herself time to respond without lunging across the table. Compatibility is definitely important, Olivia agreed, her gaze fixed on Bianca's face. It's amazing how two people can live together for years without really knowing each other. Without knowing who they really are or what they're capable of. Derek shifted uncomfortably again, and Olivia wondered if he sensed something beneath the surface of his wife's perfect facade. Men like Derek, honest, hardworking, loyal, often had instincts about deception even when they couldn't quite name what was wrong. Isaiah dropped his fork and Derek immediately bent to retrieve it, ruffling the boy's hair affectionately. You're getting so big, buddy. Pretty soon you'll be taller than me. I want to be just like you, Daddy, Isaiah said, his voice clear and sweet. The words hit Derek like a physical blow of love and pride, and Olivia felt something crack inside her chest. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about truth, justice, and the right of a good man to know exactly whose child he was raising with such devotion. After dinner, while Derek helped Isaiah with a puzzle in the living room, Bianca cornered Olivia in the kitchen. The mask of sisterly concern finally slipped, revealing the calculating predator underneath. I hope you're not harboring any hard feelings about Austin, Bianca said, loading dishes into the dishwasher with aggressive efficiency. I really was trying to help him. Men deserve to know what kind of woman they're marrying. Olivia dried a wine glass slowly, considering her words. What kind of woman am I, Bianca? The kind who keeps secrets. The kind who hides important things from the people who love them. Bianca's voice dropped to a whisper. The kind who terminates pregnancies and then pretends it never happened. The glass nearly slipped from Olivia's hands. The casual cruelty of using her most painful decision as ammunition was breathtaking in its viciousness. Is that really what you think happened? Olivia asked. I know what happened. You got pregnant, you got scared, and you handled it. But Austin deserved to know about your past before making a commitment. Olivia felt a strange calm settle over her. Bianca had just revealed the depth of her ignorance, the assumptions she'd built her attack on. She didn't actually know the truth. She'd simply weaponized her suspicions and gotten lucky. You're right, Olivia said quietly. Men do deserve to know what kind of woman they're married to. From the living room came the sound of Derek's laughter as Isaiah solved a particularly difficult puzzle piece. The warmth in that sound, the genuine joy of a father proud of his son, made Olivia's decision crystallize into diamond-hard resolve. Bianca had destroyed her happiness based on half-truths and malicious assumptions. But Olivia possessed something far more powerful than assumptions. She had DNA evidence that would detonate Bianca's entire world with surgical precision. The manila envelope in her purse seemed to pulse with potential energy, waiting to transform 2 lives forever. The drive home from dinner felt like traveling through a war zone where the battles hadn't started yet but the ammunition was already in place. Olivia's hands gripped the steering wheel as she replayed every moment, every calculated word that had passed between her and Bianca. The woman had no idea she was standing on the edge of a cliff, too arrogant in her perceived victory to notice the ground crumbling beneath her feet. Olivia's phone rang through the car's Bluetooth system, Austin's name flashing on the dashboard display. For a moment, her heart leaped with hope that he'd reconsidered, that love had won over pride and they could work through this mess together. "I'm coming by tomorrow to get the rest of my things." His voice was flat, emotionless. "I'd prefer if you weren't there." The words hit like physical blows. "Austin, please. Let me explain." "Explain what? That you've been lying to me for 2 years? That you were going to walk down the aisle and make vows about honesty and trust while hiding something this massive?" It wasn't hiding, it was what, Olivia? What do you call keeping a secret child from the man you claim to love? The accusation hung in the air like a toxic cloud. Olivia realized with crystalline clarity that Bianca had been even more vicious than she'd initially understood. She hadn't just told Austin about the pregnancy, she'd implied there was a living child somewhere, a secret family that Olivia was concealing. "There is no secret child," Olivia said, her voice breaking. "That's not what happened." But the line was already dead and Austin was gone again, taking with him any chance of salvaging what they'd built together. Bianca's lies had contaminated everything, twisted a painful personal choice into something ugly and deceptive. The envelope in her purse suddenly felt heavier, more urgent. Justice demanded action and Olivia was more than ready to deliver it. Emily arrived at Olivia's house the next morning with coffee, tissues, and the kind of righteous anger that only a best friend could provide. Her dark skin was flushed with indignation as she paced around the living room, her braids swaying with each aggressive step. "That vindictive witch destroyed your relationship over some twisted jealousy, and you're just going to let her get away with it?" Emily's voice rose with each word. "Girl, you better tell me you have a plan." Olivia pulled the manila envelope from her purse and set it on the coffee table between them. The simple brown paper looked innocuous enough, but she could see Emily's curiosity peak immediately. "What's that?" "Justice," Olivia said simply. "Or revenge. Depending on how you look at it." Emily picked up the envelope, weighing it in her hands. "This feels official." "What exactly are you sitting on?" "Remember when I mentioned that Dr. Hodge accidentally let something slip about Bianca's medical history?" Olivia watched her friend's expression shift from confusion to dawning understanding. "Oh hell no. You didn't." "I did. Full paternity analysis. Isaiah isn't Derek's biological son." The envelope slipped from Emily's fingers, hitting the coffee table with a soft thud that seemed to echo in the sudden silence. She stared at Olivia with a mixture of admiration and horror. "Jesus Christ, Olivia. This is nuclear. Bianca dropped a bomb on my life based on lies and assumptions. This is me dropping a bomb back, except mine is backed by science." Emily sat down heavily, her mind clearly racing through the implications. "Derek's a good guy. He doesn't deserve this kind of betrayal." "No, he doesn't. But he deserves the truth. And Bianca deserves consequences." The two women sat in silence for a moment, contemplating the weight of the decision before them. Outside, life continued normally. Neighbors walking dogs, children riding bikes, people living their uncomplicated lives without explosive secrets threatening to detonate everything they held dear. The plan crystallized over the next 3 days like a perfect storm gathering strength. Olivia found herself moving through her daily routine with robotic precision. Work meetings, grocery shopping, gym sessions, while her mind churned through every possible scenario and consequence. The envelope never left her purse, a constant reminder of the power she wielded and the choice that lay ahead. Austin had come and gone while she was at work, taking his belongings and leaving behind only empty spaces where his presence used to fill her home. The silence felt oppressive, broken only by the tick of the grandfather clock in the hallway, a gift from his mother that he'd apparently decided to abandon along with everything else they'd built together. On Thursday evening, as Olivia sat in her empty house with takeout she had no appetite for, her phone rang. Derek's name on the caller ID made her stomach clench with anticipation and dread. "Hey Olivia. I hope I'm not bothering you." His voice carried that particular quality of someone trying to navigate delicate emotional territory. "I wanted to apologize for what happened at dinner. Bianca told me what she did and I think she was wrong to interfere in your relationship." The sincerity in his voice was like a knife to her heart. Here was a man who genuinely cared about her well-being, even while his wife was systematically destroying her life for sport. "It's not your fault, Derek. You've always been good to me. Austin is making a mistake. Whatever happened in your past, it doesn't define who you are now. You're a good person, Olivia. You deserve better than this." The irony was suffocating. Derek was defending her character while remaining completely unaware that his own wife possessed none whatsoever. He was raising another man's child, working extra shifts to provide for a family built on deception, and still finding time to offer comfort to someone he thought was hurting. "Thank you," she whispered, because anything else would have broken her resolve entirely. Friday afternoon brought an unexpected text from Bianca. "Family barbecue Sunday at our place. 2 p.m. Derek's grilling his famous ribs. Hope you can make it." The casual invitation, complete with cheerful emoji, felt like a final insult. Bianca was so confident in her victory that she was essentially inviting Olivia to come witness her triumph, to see the happy family she'd built on lies while Olivia's own relationship lay in ruins. But as Olivia stared at the message, she realized Bianca had just handed her the perfect opportunity. A family gathering with Derek present, in the comfort of their own home where Isaiah would be playing nearby. The setting couldn't be more ideal for the revelation that would shatter everything Bianca held dear. "I'll be there," Olivia typed back, adding her own emoji for good measure. "Wouldn't miss it for the world." The weekend crawled by with excruciating slowness. Olivia found herself rehearsing different approaches, different ways to deliver the news that would change 3 lives forever. She could be subtle, dropping hints and letting Derek connect the dots himself. She could be brutal, laying out the evidence with surgical precision. She could be merciful, taking Derek aside privately to spare him public humiliation. But every time she remembered Bianca's smug satisfaction at dinner, the casual cruelty with which she'd destroyed a 2-year relationship, mercy felt less and less appealing. Saturday night, Olivia made copies of the test results. One set for Derek, one for her own records, and one for her lawyer just in case Bianca decided to escalate things legally. She sealed Derek's copy in a fresh envelope, writing his name across the front in her careful script. Sunday morning, she woke before dawn and spent an hour in meditation, centering herself for what was to come. By the time she showered and dressed, her hands were steady and her resolve was unshakable. It was time for Bianca to reap what she had sown. The barbecue was already in full swing when Olivia arrived at Bianca and Derek's modest 2-story home. The smell of grilling meat filled the air, and children's laughter echoed from the backyard where Isaiah was playing with his cousins. The scene was picture perfect. Exactly the kind of happy family gathering that would make the coming revelation even more devastating. Bianca greeted her at the door with air kisses and a smile that didn't reach her eyes. She was wearing a flowing sundress that emphasized her curves, her hair styled in loose waves that caught the afternoon light. She looked beautiful, successful, content. Everything Olivia used to feel before her world imploded. "I'm so glad you came," Bianca said, her voice dripping with false warmth. "I was worried you might be too upset about Austin to socialize." "I'm stronger than you think," Olivia replied, meaning every word in ways Bianca couldn't possibly understand. Derek appeared from the kitchen carrying a platter of corn on the cob, his face lighting up when he saw Olivia. "Hey there. Perfect timing. The ribs are almost ready and I made that potato salad you love." The genuine warmth in his greeting made Olivia's chest tighten. In a few minutes she was going to destroy this man's entire understanding of his life. The weight of that responsibility felt crushing, but she pushed through it, reminding herself of Bianca's cruelty, of Austin's empty side of the bed, of the calculated way her stepsister had weaponized her pain. "Everything smells amazing," Olivia said, following them outside to where the extended family had gathered. Sharon was there with her sister Diane, along with Derek's parents and a few family friends. Isaiah ran up to Olivia with his arms extended, and she lifted him into a hug, acutely aware that she was holding the evidence of Bianca's betrayal, A beautiful, innocent child who had no idea his existence was about to shatter his father's world. The afternoon unfolded with agonizing normalcy. Derek manned the grill with practiced expertise, sharing jokes with his father-in-law and accepting compliments on his cooking. Bianca played the perfect hostess, circulating through the crowd with pitcher of lemonade and plates of appetizers, basking in the admiration of their guests. Olivia watched it all through a lens of impending destruction, like witnessing the last moments of Pompeii before the volcano erupted. Every laugh, every casual touch between Derek and Bianca, every proud moment as Derek watched Isaiah play, all of it would be contaminated within the hour by the truth Olivia carried in her purse. As the meal wound down and people began settling into comfortable conversations, Olivia made her move. She approached Derek where he stood cleaning the grill, his back to the crowd. "Derek, could I speak with you privately for a moment? It's important." Something in her tone made him look up sharply, his expression shifting from casual contentment to concern. "Of course. Everything okay? We should go inside. Away from the family." He set down his cleaning brush and followed her through the sliding glass door into the quiet of the house. The kitchen felt sterile and cold compared to the warmth of the backyard celebration, and Olivia was acutely aware of the voices and laughter filtering in from outside. "What's going on, Olivia? You look like you've seen a ghost." She reached into her purse and withdrew the envelope containing Derek's copy of the DNA results. Her hands were steady now, her voice clear and calm. "3 months ago, I learned something about your family that I've been struggling with ever since. After what Bianca did to my relationship, I can't keep this secret anymore." Derek's face went pale as he stared at the envelope. "What kind of secret?" "The kind that changes everything," Olivia replied, holding out the papers that would detonate his world. "I'm sorry, Derek. You deserve to know the truth." Derek's hands shook as he opened the envelope, his eyes scanning the clinical language of the DNA analysis report. Olivia watched his face change as comprehension dawned, confusion giving way to disbelief, then to a raw, devastating understanding that seemed to age him 10 years in 30 seconds. "This says..." His voice cracked and he had to start again. "This says Isaiah isn't my biological son." "I'm sorry," Olivia whispered, and she meant it with every fiber of her being. "I found out by accident through Dr. Hodge. I never wanted to be the one to tell you." Derek sank into a kitchen chair, the papers scattered across the table in front of him. Through the window, they could see Bianca laughing at something Sharon had said, completely unaware that her entire life was disintegrating 20 feet away. "For years," Derek said, his voice hollow. 4 years of believing he was mine. Of working double shifts to pay for his daycare, his clothes, his future. Of loving him like..." He stopped, pressing his palms against his eyes. "You still love him," Olivia said gently. "That doesn't change. You raised him. You're his father in every way that matters. But not biologically. Not genetically. And Bianca..." His voice hardened with growing anger. "Bianca has been lying to me every single day for 4 years. Watching me break my back to provide for a family that isn't even mine." Outside, Isaiah's high-pitched laughter cut through the air like a knife. Derek flinched at the sound, and Olivia saw the exact moment when love and betrayal collided in his heart, creating a wound that might never fully heal. "What am I supposed to do with this?" he asked, gesturing helplessly at the papers. "Whatever you think is right," Olivia replied. "But Derek, you deserve to know. Just like Austin deserved to know the truth about me, except Bianca's version was built on lies and assumptions." Derek looked up at her with new understanding dawning in his eyes. "She destroyed your relationship based on lies? Complete fabrications. But this..." Olivia nodded toward the DNA results. "This is science. This is truth." The confrontation erupted like a dam bursting under pressure. Derek walked outside carrying the DNA results, his face a mask of cold fury that made the entire backyard fall silent. Bianca took one look at the papers in his hand and went white as a sheet, her lemonade pitcher slipping from nerveless fingers to shatter on the concrete patio. "Derek, I can explain," she started, but he cut her off with a gesture so sharp it might have drawn blood. 4 years, Bianca. 4 years of lies." His voice carried across the yard with devastating clarity, causing family members to gather closer despite their obvious discomfort. Isaiah ran to his father, confused by the sudden tension. Daddy, what's wrong? The word, daddy, hit Derek like a physical blow, and for a moment his composure cracked completely. He knelt down to Isaiah's level, his voice gentle despite the chaos swirling around them. Nothing's wrong, buddy. Why don't you go play with your cousins for a few minutes? Sharon stepped forward, her face creased with confusion. What's going on here? Derek, you're scaring everyone. Derek stood up, the DNA results clutched in his trembling hand. Ask your daughter. Ask her about the lies she's been telling for 4 years. Ask her whose child she's been passing off as mine. The silence that followed was deafening. Bianca's perfect facade finally crumbled completely, tears streaming down her cheeks as she realized there was no escape, no explanation that could undo the scientific evidence staring everyone in the face. Olivia stood at the edge of the gathering, watching the destruction unfold with a mixture of satisfaction and regret. Justice had been served, but at a cost that would ripple through multiple lives for years to come. As Derek walked toward the house with his suitcase, Isaiah calling after him in confusion, Olivia realized that revenge, even when justified, left everyone wounded. But sometimes, she thought as Bianca collapsed into her mother's arms, the truth was worth the devastation it caused. The secrets were finally out and there was no going back for any of them. Thanks for listening. Give us a like if you like the video and share with us in the comments what you think about this lovely tale. We always enjoy reading your comments.